Hey everyone, Mango7 here, how we doing today? Welcome to another Epic 7 video, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you say, happy whatever. Today we're gonna just have some fun. I've been wanting to do this for a while, make my own tier list, and that's my wish list. I'm gonna tier up who I'm hoping for, what order I'm hoping to get them in, and I'm gonna do the same thing with normal summons, normal 5 stars, and I'm also gonna do the same with Moonlight 4 stars and Moonlight 5 stars. So I just want to have like a visualization thing that I can look at and kind of wish when I see that boy pop up on the right side or girl pop up on the left side. I just gotta wish for it, okay? So we're gonna start things off with regular summons here, and I think you guys can pretty much guess the bottom one. We're at number 15 right now, and thanks to my awesome editing skills, we're gonna write this in Notepad as we do it. Instead of being a professional YouTuber here and adding in graphics and stuff, this is what you guys get, so I hope you're okay with it. 15, this is my Christmas. Ooh, we've got to make this Christmassy, right? Putting in Christmas makes this Christmassy. My Christmas wish list. So number 15 of 5 stars. It is obviously Ken. You guys can figure this out pretty easily. And honestly, it's not that he's bad that I don't want him. He's the worst type of unit in terms of looks for me. I really don't like the bulky style, like, look at me, I'm so powerful style units. Like, that's not my thing. Honestly, he was pretty close to being a little lower or higher depending on how you look at it on the list, but I just wasn't happy with his design. Pretty obvious there, I think. Number 14, probably pretty obvious too, and the next one is Kayron. And Kayron is interesting, you know? Like, I kind of like his design, but I don't like his armor. And the problem with Kayron, I find, is what he did in the story. That's kind of hard to forgive, and I have a hard time using him because of that. I know that's ridiculous, but I've got feelings, you know? I don't mind his skill set, and I think his skill set is fantastic the further we go along. I don't think he's terrible. I'd love to try him out, that is true, but not somebody I am really, really interested in. As we get further down the list too, I'm going to start to talk about the units a little bit more and kind of give you guys an idea why, hopefully, to let you know what's going through my head. And this next one, kind of not controversial, but this placement of this next hero here, and try to guess as we're going through this. The placement of this next hero is going to super go up or down depending on what I have. And currently I have no way to enable him, so he's further down on the list. So number 13 here that we're looking at is Ludwig. And his personality is kind of interesting. He kind of is a little annoying, but the more I see his story, the more I appreciate him, especially for what he's been through. He has some of the coolest running animations too. But the problem is, I feel like you need Crimson Armin. If I had Crimson Armin, then I would have a good old time with them. Anything that ignores or penetrates defense is super insane in these styles of games. So I saw this guy at the start, and I was kind of surprised he wasn't like double S rank or whatever you want to call it in PvP. And I'm really excited to try him out sometime. But again, if I got him now, I couldn't really do much with him because I have no real invincibility. I don't even have a Kate, so that's why he's so far down this list. Next up is somebody I wanted to put a lot higher, but I have Araminta, so it's kind of tough. So that's going to be Bale and Suzanne. I think Bale and Suzanne is actually really good. I like the spot he's in right now, or she, depending on how you look at this. A little creepy, just like a little teeny tiny creepy, but I like his abilities. He's got AoE defense break, which is just insane. It goes up to 85%, right? Which is just nuts. So he also has this, which is kind of cool. I do like that as well. And then just poison on his first skill. So I really do want him, but for me it's going to be hard to find a place for Bale and Suzanne when I have Araminta. He's just going to overlap so much, and this is one of the problems I'm going to run through with this game as I go through. with the fact that there's only 4 units. I really wish you could have 5 units, because then I can have Bale Suzanne and Araminta on the same team, and I bet they would be insane teammates. But unfortunately, with the way we have it set up now, with only 4 people, there's not really room for 2 like that. So next up, let's look at number 11. This one might surprise people for her being so far down the list, and it's honestly kind of the same reason as Bale Suzanne, just because I'm not really too interested in any more fire units. I just feel like Araminta has me set there. So this is going to be Ravi, and I'm kind of surprised I put her this far down the list. I really am kind of surprised, and the reason is I just don't see a need for her right now. I understand she's good and all, but I just don't see a need for her. I really like her design though, but I like a lot of the people's design, so it's hard to solely base that off of things. And I know I didn't mention this at the start, but when I go through what I want in a character, I start right here. This is my baseline wand, and the first thing I do is go off of personality and looks. I usually separate them, so let's say Ravi. She's up here for looks. Way up here. I don't know her personality, so I stay the same, but I'm not really happy with her gameplay right now, so she drops down. Somebody like ML Ken. Let's use ML Ken as an example, since everybody knows that. For his looks, he's all the way down here, but he's really good, so he comes back up here. Still not above a lot of other things, but still in a decent thing. That's kind of how I gauge things. If you're wondering how I decide if I want a unit or not, I would like to try her out, but I just don't see a spot for her at this point, especially since I have no warrior artifacts. I think that's another thing holding me back from somebody like her. Next up on the list, we are going to number 10. We're in the top 10 already, yeah! This is another one. I feel like the further I get into the game, I'm going to want him more. I also really love his design, and that is Tywin. When I get more into PvP, this is somebody I'm really going to want. This commanding shout is super bonkers for PvP. He's kind of like a one-trick pony, whatever you want to call it, but all you really need is one trick with this. I also have auxiliary Lots, who arguably might be better for his spot. I'm not really sure. I do like his design. I think he looks fantastic. He's super smooth looking. I love the flowing cape in the background. I love the longer ponytail hair. I love his sword. I love his hair color. I just don't really care about PvP right now, so it's really hard for me to find a spot for him. So next up is number 9. You guys might be surprised this one is all the way down here, but you might not with how much I like Araminta here. And this is Toni Bria. Toni Bria is one of those people that, boy oh boy, does she have a personality. She's very unique, I think, in this game, and her stance and everything, the way she is flaunting things that aren't her breasts. Like, it really is unique in this game, to be honest. I do love her inner story. I like her personality. I like everything about her, but I just... Same thing. Only 4 character slots. I like Araminta more. How do I really go about gearing her as well as my Araminta with my gear available, which is why she's down so far. I do like that she's got 60, 65%, 75% chance to decrease defense, so I feel like her and Araminta together would be insane, but again, same problem, really hard to fit them both at once. What I do find funny, and let me be clear, I do not care about tier lists. I don't consider them at all. They're not what I think about when I think about units, and I don't agree with them. She is lower than Araminta now, and even Bale and Suzanne now on the community tier list, what I just find hilarious, because hell yes, Araminta. So, we're on to 8, and 8 is somebody I had to put higher than he is just because of how good he is, and that is Crowl. I really like this guy's personality too. There's a couple types of characters in the male style that I like. So there's the type like Ken and ML Ken that are just like, I'm better than you and LOL, and I train all day, and that's cool and all. And there's the type like Crowl that's like, real men don't need wishes, like that kind of ridiculousness just makes me happy. And as I'm talking about his personality now, I'm realizing because he's so good as well, I should have put him further up in this list, because I kind of forgot how awesome he's been in the story and how awesome he's been in the sub-stories. We all know how insane he is. I do like Tywin's looks better, which is why I think I put him so close to Tywin. Realistically, he's probably in the top 1 for me just because he's so good in PvP. But number 8, he stands for now, and I'll be updating this list as we go throughout the weeks as I start to like people more, just to keep things going. And I'll have this list public as well, so you can kind of keep track of things while I summon. That's the other thing. I really wanted to keep track of what I'm interested in, so you guys can see what we get when we summon. Mainly because of the Moonlights. I've got 2 of my bottom most least wanted Moonlights. So if I was to rank all the Moonlights, my bottom 2 I've got so far. So that's kind of why I'm doing this, just to have recording evidence that these are what I'm interested in. So we're on to number 7 here, and 7 is one I thought I would want more, especially after playing her on Loth's account, and that is Charlotte. But the problem with Charlotte is I can't find a place for her, especially as a fire unit. I'm just not finding a place to put Charlotte here. I like her abilities, but it just, like, she's not good enough for PvP, especially with Deanna around. She's just, like, you can't really use her. You can't use her for PvE because 50% chance to decrease defense isn't enough. I don't know where to use her, and that's why she's here. She's design-wise one of my most favorite. I love her attitude. I love her little hairpiece there. I love her crown. But I can't find a spot for her. I really wish I could. I love the design, though. Next up is number 6, and that is... Are you guys starting to guess who's here now? Like, I think you guys can start guessing who is left. You have to know who I have, by the way. I'm not including people I have already, which obviously means I can't put Euphine or Destina on here. So number 6 is a wind unit. We're going to be talking about Vildred. I thought about putting him this high, and I wasn't sure, but I was looking at my account, and I just really didn't have any super AoE PvE style characters, especially in wind. And I thought he would be pretty solid here. I do like his skill set. The fact that we found more about his backstory makes me like him more recently, so that's another thing I had to consider. And I love his hair, I love his design, I love the purple tint. And I think he's actually a really, really, really good unit. And I do have Dust Devil, so I actually have an artifact. For those of you who don't know, my artifacts are quite terrible. I have 1 5-star artifact, and that's literally it. So that's why a lot of these ratings are weird, because I have no warrior artifact, I have no RNL, I have no anything, so it is what it is. And number 5 is also a wind unit. I wanted to put this one up higher, but as for now, there just isn't a reason for it. Basara is awesome. I love Basara's design. I love his cats here. I love that he's got 2 different color eyes. I forget what that's called, but that's like my favorite thing in the world, when something has 2 color eyes. It just, so amazing. His design is great. This thing is super cool. I love that he is a merchant. I'm a huge fan of merchants in games. And not only like a merchant, but a lead merchant, like the leader of everything. And I love his skill set. So I think Basara is going to be one of those people that as we go along in the game will get much better when more people have immunity sets. Just the fact that he has this Dispel and Unable to be buffed is super huge. It doesn't say a percent here too, so that's just like 100% chance, I think. Obviously it can be resisted still, but there's no chance, or I'm assuming it's just 100%. So that is pretty insane. He's also got this too, gold bonus 6%. That's kind of cool. It is what it is, but overall I'm just a fan of his looks. I really like his design. My biggest problem with him is actually how he stands. I don't think he would stand like that when he's in combat. But I do like this, but when he's running it just kind of doesn't look my favorite. So next up, number 5, I forgot to write good old Basara down there. Number 4 actually is, we're getting close to the top list here, so you can obviously tell who I'm missing. Number 4, we're going to put Iseria in there. She is fantastic. I love her design, I love the swords, I love Aurelia, I love the little fingertip gloves. I like that she's not, how do I say this? I like that she's not over-exaggerated. It just fits her personality. I love the flowers in her hair. I love the progression she's made in her story. It just makes me happy when I see her. And I think she's got one of the best skill sets in the game, IMO. Like, this is one of those abilities that as we get along in the game is going to become incredibly, insanely good. Like, super overpowered. It also might be really good in like real-time PvP if we get that, which I expect we will sometime. And she's also wind, or earth, sorry, another style of unit I just don't have too many. She also has defense break, which is great, and she also has defense break, which is great. So, not to mention dispel too, and unable to be buffed. So overall, I think she's fantastic. I think she's one of the best skill sets we can get right now. And I think she's really demanding for her gear. And I think once we get better gear to really take advantage of that, we're going to see a little bit more of Iseria. And I hope we do, because I want to use her more. And the other thing is, I have some decent ranger artifacts, so it'll be nice to use. So number 3 here, we're getting down to the final ones. And number 2 and number 3... you guys probably know number 1, but number 2 and number 3 were neck and neck, and I couldn't decide where to put which one. And my reasoning for putting Chloe on number 3 is because Moonlight Chloe is just ridiculous, and I think Moonlight Chloe kind of just put regular Chloe down a peg for me. So the reason why I want Chloe so much is because, I mean, look at her. Look at her. Why wouldn't you want her? The real queen, of course. We have Magic Nail, which I think is fantastic. I would love to be able to have this on my Wyvern team. I'm just missing a little bit of damage, and I feel like if I could use her on my team, it would just add everything we need for it. She's also got stuns, which is great. But overall, I just really, really, really like her design. I like her hammer. I like that her hammer's pink. I don't know. I just find that super awesome. And I think he'd be pretty cool, or she would be pretty cool. I'm kind of worried she has no debuff on her first skill, but it is great that she has a 100% chance for Magic Nail, which is great for Wyvern too. So that is number 3 for me. I would never be sad that she came. Number 2 is going to be Sigrid. So those were the 2 I was trying to figure out where to put, and honestly, just Sigrid's design and her character, what she's wearing, pushed her over the edge. Her hair is just perfect, just the way her hair is sitting. Just enough to like show you she takes care of herself, but just enough to show you that it can be messy like that. Like, it just kind of looks messy but perfect at the same time. Love it so much. I also think she's got some of the coolest skill sets as well. I like that everything works together. I like that she bleeds, and it just like, I really want her on my team. One of the reasons she's not number 1, and yes, I considered putting her number 1, is because, again, I have no warrior cards. If I had, I don't even know what she uses, but if I had one of the 5-star warrior artifacts, I'd probably have her at number 1, instead of the next person here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Sigrid. I just want to use her in Wyvern, I want to have fun with her, and, cannot wait to the day that I finally pull her. And number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for, that you probably already knew since before you opened this video, Haste. We all want Haste. We really do. We all should have rerolled for Haste at the start of the game. Wow, look at that planning. So my wish list exactly filled the space. Any more and we wouldn't have made it. That's awesome. I'm the best. Haste is fan-freaking-tastic. What else do I want to say about this? Haste has been one of those people I wanted since day 1, since I saw the design before I knew he was good. I love the design, and yes, a guy is number one. There are 1, 2, 3 guys in the top 6, and 5 guys in the top 10. Can you believe that? That's ridiculous. That is awesome. But obviously, Haste is amazing, and one of the reasons I want Haste too, and one of the reasons I want Sigrid as well, is so I can build Sararin beside them and just have a blast with Sararin. There's not much else to say about Haste outside of he just enables things that you can't really do otherwise, and his design is amazing, and the bubblegum is amazing, and everything is just fantastic about him, and he can just use Dust Devil. Obviously, nowhere near as good as RNL, I think, on him, but I would be happy with Dust Devil. So there you go, that's what I want. Top 15, as we get new characters, I'll start adding them in here. I'll have this shared with you guys, it'll be in the link below once I get done with editing and stuff. It's not going to be there yet, but it is what it is. Also, 4 stars. I'm actually surprisingly missing a good amount of 4 stars for this. I'm missing a Kate's who would be pretty exciting, but I wouldn't use her right away, I just have no room. I'm missing Maya, who I wouldn't use again, have no room. Obviously, I can get her from the connections, though. I'm missing Clarissa, I'm missing Karen, I'm missing Collie, and I'm missing Dominial, which is insane. 4 of the top 9 units. The only good water I have is Angelica IMO. Roman's obviously pretty good for PvP right now, but not going to use Roman. And for Wind, I'm missing Rin. So Rin is, I think, the number 1 4-star I want right now. She's one of the ones I would build right away, and I'm pretty excited to try to build. So just like a special little bit of info for you there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is supposed to be just like a showcase of what I'm interested, talk about a little bit of each unit, and get you guys an idea of what I'm hoping for. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Merry Christmas again, and look forward tomorrow for the Moonlight ones, because I can't wait to talk about the Moonlight ones too. Bye, everybody.